goals. We've talked about from chapter 4 backwards, inbox zero, chapter 3. We talked about getting things done in chapter 2. We talked about product market fit, especially under the keyword team management and um, managing other people like co-founders. And then in chapter 1 we talked about getting started. So the chapter 1, the part 1 part was just the beginning, well, 1 and 2, getting started, and chapter part 2 is now about personal habits. And then under personal habits we're talking about the need to get things done, having a mindset that prioritizes action. And in box zero is still part of being a very active person. And then in chapter 5, when I'm talking about a top goal, because if you have a top goal in front of you, it directs or controls how you prioritize everything. So it says in startups, fires never cease to burn. One of the most common complaints I hear from CEOs is that on a day-to-day basis, they seem to have infinite things to do. Yet weeks will go by and they don't feel like they have accomplished anything. This is the result of getting bogged down with the small immediate things and losing track of the important long-term ones. Why are people bogged down? We'll figure that out with little unimportant things. We'll figure that out very soon. But let's notice the important thing it says here. The reason people are doing things, but they feel they aren't moving the needle, is because they are doing the little things. They aren't focused. They aren't focused on the big things that could change the entire spectrum, change the dynamics for the company, change or transform the company. If you are a CEO and you're bogged down with little things, you're going to keep doing things, but you wouldn't feel like you're moving forward. That's because you've taken the job of an operations manager as the CEO, whereas as the CEO, your work is strategic. You want to be thinking big and directing the company towards those big things. That is things like your top goal. So it says here, the top goal framework will help you fix this. Now, Greg McCone, this is someone that we want to notice, we want to highlight here. Greg McCone, who wrote a phenomenal book on productivity called Essentialism, boils those down to one key concept: structure 2 hours each day. That is, put an event in your calendar to work on your top goal only. Should we highlight this? Yeah, let's just use red here. Schedule 2 hours daily. These 2 hours should preferably be the first 2 hours of your work period every day, and use that 2 hours to work on the top goal only. Imagine working on your top goal every day for 30 days straight. Wow, that's actually powerful as I imagine it. It's actually very powerful, because if you have like a huge top goal and it's like having one big marble stone, and then what is a marble stone? It's like having one giant load of work that you want to fashion out into shape, like a mold of sand, and you want to fashion it into shape, right? Every day you spend 2 hours doing it, right? That 2 hours may not affect something huge the first time, but imagine 2 hours in 10 days later. That's 20 hours, shaping things. You're actually going to see a picture that looks promising. So that's what Mochary says we should do here. It says we spend 2 hours every day on our top goals. The first 2 hours of the morning on our top goals. The earlier in the day you schedule this top goal time, the better, so as to avoid other issues and people from pressing for your attention. The earlier, the better. We want to highlight this. The earlier, the better. Do your top goal every morning, right? There is also strong research-backed evidence to show that we have more decision and thought processing energy early in the morning. I've written an article about this. I have to put the link to that article here for you to read. Just take a look at that article. You might like it. If you don't like it, just read the other article. You'll find something you like. So there is also strong research-backed evidence, yeah, that we have high energy in the morning. But then as all the concerns of the world start coming to us, like they keep hitting you like a storm, eventually you're going to feel weak and you can't do anything else. So it says here, take advantage of this high quality brain functioning in the morning. Have your top goal 2 hours in the morning and do important thing, like do the most important thing first. Yeah, that's what it says. Okay. During this top goal time, do not respond to emails at all. Don't talk to anybody. He says do not respond to emails. That's essentially say don't talk to anybody, right? If you don't want to talk to anybody at all, don't respond to emails. Only work on your top priority goal. And then look at the image it creates. It says your top goal for the current quarter, that's 3 months, during these 2 hours. Wow, 2 hours per day for 3 months. First thing in the morning, I'm going to do it all. I've even written about this, but I think I have started doing something similar, but I'm not so, um, I do not have that accuracy of 2 hours. So maybe I need to do that accurate thing, like just cut out 2 hours, don't talk to anybody, just get work done. I'm going to do it. It's a work. I think the mentality I now have now, thanks to Tony Robbins, who just keeps saying, "I'm born to create. I'm born to create." So every morning when I wake up now, but by God's grace, after doing something like my praying, I just say, "Okay, work hard." And the first thing I want to do is a creative thing. I don't want to read. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to create something. The first thing I do for my 2 hours is to create something, and that mindset just puts you in a positive light. I have other things to worry about. Right now, there's no contract. I do not have contract at the time of recording this course. But then um, I'm putting myself in a very powerful position by just creating things because I want to keep telling myself that I'm born to do something big. I'm born for transformation. And you want to be in that right mindset as a creator because the great creator has made us into smaller creators. So we want to sustain that spirit, that momentum of making things beautiful, of doing things that shape our lives for better and for the world too. So we want to your 2 hours. I usually say this way, like it should be 4 hours, but then if you do not have the luxury of 4 hours, then make it 2 hours. 2 hours in 60 days is going to be a big win. So it says, if you have never scheduled this kind of focused work time, starting off with 2 hours a day will likely be too great of a leap. So it's going to propose 30 minutes. It says instead, start by scheduling 30 minutes for tomorrow early in the day. If that goes well, then schedule 30 minutes each weekday morning of a week. If that goes well, increase the daily scheduled time to 1 hour. Continue increasing each week until you find the right balance, knowing that the recommended target is 2 hours. My target is to do 4 hours, but I can work with these 2 hours right now and perfect these 2 hours, like have it so perfectly. But I like the place where I'm at right now, like always just doing creative work first before admin work, because it puts you in the mindset where you can feel very good to take on other things because creative work is the height of Bloom's taxonomy. I think is the revised one. Creativity is at the height, the most of it. So you want, if you're functioning at a creative level, by the time you're coming down to evaluation and so on and so forth, you have a positive mindset to take things through, and you would appreciate the work that other people put into creating things that then you are responsible for evaluating. So I think that's also a very good mindset. So start with 30 minutes. If you can't do 2 hours straight at the start, eventually you grow into 2 hours. And from 2 hours, I pray by God's grace, I'll grow into 4 hours. I once met an executive who told me at the point she was working 10 hours every day to build that company. I want to get to that point too, where I'm working 10 hours every day. And that's at the point where you're building your company, but it's not like you want to be working 10 hours every day. But at the point at now where I do not have a company in operation, I want to be so productive and so dedicated, so focused in my work. So if you're also someone like me who is in the operation space, or you're a CEO in the making, or you're a CEO, please focus on on getting your 2 hours input towards your top goal every day. So that's it for this chapter. That's chapter 5. Next is going to be chapter 6. See you in the next video.